We just finished our briefing with the National Hurricane Center. Tropical Storm 9, as we all know, is moving slowly to the north. We don't have tropical storm winds yet, but it's anticipated it's going to become a tropical storm. The risk we have right now is we know we're going to have storm surge. It's anticipated to be 3 to 5 feet. However, we have the risk of up to 9 feet of storm surge. And this is from sort of Pasco County over to Bay County, so north of Tampa over to Panama City. We're going to see significant amounts of rain, probably 5 to 10 inches of rain, but if you look at the prior storms we've had in the state, we can have a band that drops a lot more, so possibly even 15 inches of rain. We have a risk of tornadoes. So when you think about this, all of us have to think, how would we be prepared in case of a tornado? Florida doesn't have a lot of tornadoes, but this storm has a risk of tornadoes. So all of us have to have a way to communicate, have a battery-powered radio, some way to know if we lost power that we can still communicate, so we would know and know what you should do in the case of a tornado. We have 6,000 members of our National Guard ready to be mobilized. But just think, we're going to have storm surge, we're going to have rain, we have the risk of tornado, and this is going to go across the state. It's going to start sometime tomorrow, and it is going to hit most of the northern part of the state. We're going to see a lot of rain, especially on the east, the southeast side of this storm. Our Emergency Operations Center has already been activated to level 2. We have great emergency management teams around the state. We have a great emergency management team right here in Jacksonville. The mayor's team is ready. The sheriff's team is ready. Everybody is getting prepared. But all of us, have to get prepared ourselves. 3 days of water, 3 days of food, have a battery-powered radio. If you think you might need a shelter, know where the shelter would be. If you have a family member you think you might need a special needs shelter, know where those are. If you need a shelter for a pet, know where those are. Do not drive into standing water. Do not stop. Do not touch or come close to a down power line. We're going to have down power lines. We're going to have a lot of wind. So we're going to have down power lines. Our utilities are already pre-positioned themselves around the state, and so they'll be working diligently to get us back up. But do not drive into standing water. Do not touch a down power line. We have, as you know, we have had some cases of Zika in our state. All of us have to be prepared to stop any continuing transmission of that. The way to do that is no standing water, wear bug repellent, wear protective clothing. We do that. Do it before the storm happens. Do it after the storm happens as rapidly as possible. So I know this state's going to get prepared. All of the citizens will be prepared. We have to make sure all of our visitors get prepared. Now I'll turn it over to Mayor Lenny Curry.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Well, good morning. Echo some of what the governor said, and that we want to make sure that the people that are watching, that you're prepared. I want you to know that your city is ready for this. We are unique compared to many other cities because we are consolidated. The county and the city are one, which means we're large, but it also means we're incredibly coordinated. Your Public Works Department, your power company, your independent agencies, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the fire department, we're all ready to make sure that we've got things in place to make sure that the people of Jacksonville, are safe. We just encourage you to do what the governor said and make sure that you've got food and water, and that you stay educated and pay attention to the news cycle, and we will continue to bring updates to you. We will be doing another briefing this afternoon here at our EOC, and we'll be able to communicate more information at that time.
We can answer any questions that anybody has.
Governor Gonzalez, we're heading into a holiday weekend too,
and we have lots of tourists in our state.
Yeah, so they're coming in. How will you be handling that, and what do you want to tell these tourists?
Well, you're in a state that knows how to get prepared. We have, at the state level and at the local level, we have very good emergency management teams. We have great sheriff's departments around the state. Our mayors know how to do this. Our National Guard, we have 6,000 members ready to be deployed. Our Adjutant General is standing here. He's been doing this. He's been in the National Guard 30 years. We're going to be prepared. But follow the news. Follow what's happening, and do what you're asked to do. Be prepared. Think about what you're doing. If you're in an area that you think is going to have any wind or flooding, think about what you're doing. Don't drive into standing water. Don't touch it. Don't get close to a down power line. Call 911 if you need anything. So we know how to do it. We're going to have hopefully 110 million, 150 million tourists this year. We know we're going to be prepared. We're going to have a good weekend. It looks like this storm's going to go pretty fast once it hits land. It's going to go pretty fast for the state. So I think we're going to have a really nice weekend.
Governor, how would you gauge the potential impact of this storm, or any of you gentlemen up there, to what we've had in Northeast Florida from previous tropical storms, depressions, et cetera? Is this going to be a bad one, or is this going to be possibly just a moderate impact?
Well, I mean, I think given the information that we have today, right now, which is continually changing, flooding would be the biggest risk. So our Public Works Department is already prepared for that and working on that as we speak. And the biggest thing is just for people to pay attention, and when the storm begins to move in, make sure they're in a safe and secure place in their home if they know where the nearest shelter is. And we will continue to update them. But again, know, as I said before, as a consolidated city, we have unique cooperation and coordination, so people can feel good that their city is prepared for this.
You know, if you look at what happens in our state, on top of what at the state level we do, and we do it through our DOT, but at the local level, they pre-position barriers. I mean, people know where you're going to probably see flooding, but watch what's happening. Do not drive into water. I mean, just don't. And we're going to have down power lines. If you look at the risk, because with this type of storm, that's our biggest risk.
Governor, how much money was budgeted for hurricane shelters, that sort of thing, as we prepare for this?
The way it works is basically I have the authority to allocate dollars in the case of emergency, no different than what I'm doing with regard to Zika, where we've allocated $26.2 million. So you're in a state that has significant resources. We have significant savings, and so we're able to allocate the dollars. But if all of us do our part, then we have less issues. I mean, the cost often, especially in something like this, is when somebody does something that causes significant damage. But what we really care about is you as a person. We don't want anybody to be injured.
And you mentioned earlier about battery-operated radios. And in some essence, we kind of need to go old school. We have so much reliability on Wi-Fi and things like that. Those things go down.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you have in this storm, we got the risk of tornadoes. So if we're going to lose power, you need to know that there might be a tornado. Now we have early warning systems around the state. We work hard to do that, but I mean, you got to take care of your own family and yourself.